What's up, guys? Welcome back to Streetcar Shenanigans YouTube channel. We owe you guys a lot of content. We've been working on a ton of stuff, but we've just been busting ass. We've been kind of getting our butt kicked on a couple things, and that put the camera on the wayside. So we have the stock Cobra subframe connectors done on the black car. We're gonna bring that to the alignment shop right now, and then we will bring you guys an update on that once we get it back. Gotta get it lined up to go to the tuning shop. We have the red car here. This is just here temporarily, put a new battery in it. If you guys recall, we brought up that we had some big stuff cranking problems. So we put a yellow top in it, which should be better for having heavy electronics like the ECU, and still good starting. It started just fine. Started the best that it has so far. So that's good, we're happy about that. Everything else is pretty much good on it. What we are gonna do is we're gonna take the front bumper off today and measure for the intercooler. We're gonna see how big of an intercooler we can fit in the same location that we're in. This one is actually thicker than I thought. You know, it is a pretty decent size, maybe like a 4-inch core. We're gonna see if we can go even bigger. It feels like I got tons of room forward. I don't really have much room back, so the back is gonna have to stay where it is, and then it looks like I can really go as far forward as I want. I can't feel anything in front of it. I think the crash bar for the bumper is way forward of this, yeah. So I could probably go another 2 inches thicker on the core. So we'll be planning that out, and I could get wider too. So I'll figure out how wide this core is. We'll probably try to fill this whole thing. Yeah, and go probably another 4 inches wider. Might not even need to take the bumper off. We'll probably just assume that I can go that much wider and however thick I want to. We'll be putting our own bungs on it and mounting it however we want, because we're gonna pulley this down even more. So we got that going on. We're gonna get that thing ready. We're gonna pulley it up, upgrade the intercooler. We got the battery done. So today we're just doing an oil change. We're gonna put a set of used 555Rs that we have. We're gonna put that on there. And then another project that we're working on that we're gonna be bringing you guys. It's really simple. It's nothing overcomplicated. We're gonna be switching this bad boy over to manual brakes. Now you might be curious what is in this thing. This was just tuned by ASSC, and I think it's going to be a new customer for us that might hopefully hang out for a while, because there's a lot of things that we would like to see changed under here. But as of right now, it's a monster. It's like a 540 cubic inch big block Chevy. I think it's a 91 millimeter Borg. But we would like to see some of the wiring and fuel system change. We're gonna get rid of the whole power brake booster setup here, put a Willwood manual on it. That just came in today, so we might work on that tomorrow, get this done right away. And then we're also gonna be doing some rear suspension changes. It's got a 4-link now, all tube bed like this, but something's loose underneath there. You can see how much it's moving. But overall, it's pretty cool. For now, we just have to get it inside out of the rain. It's gonna start raining here. We gotta run the black car to get in alignment. I don't really like how this is set up. There should be a master switch to kind of power all of these things. But, I mean, you could really do all the batteries off. Damn. Cranks this button. But it's pretty nasty. Needs a bigger front tire. Box body's gonna run tomorrow. We're gonna start digging into the C10 project. Once again, we're gonna bring you guys a lot of content on this, because we hopefully will be working on it quite a bit to make it streetable and badass, and more badass than it is. Those projects will be including and not limited to a bigger intercooler, different cold side setup, wishbone on the rear end, making sure everything's square and sits good, comfortability while driving, front wheel tire, front end, all those things will be happening over the course of this year. But for now, we are going to be swapping the brake booster setup for a manual brake conversion, which may lead to changing some of this plumbing. We'll worry about that part separately. For now, we're going to start digging into this, take this off, and let me show you what we're about to put in it. So here's what we're installing. This is the old booster setup that we took out of it. Here's the new one that is going in it. Total weight savings, I don't know, probably 10 pounds or more. This thing is like nothing. This one I can't really lift up without making a mess, so I'm not going to touch it. But everything's out the firewall. Now one thing is, since that proportioning valve is at one piece with that, I'm having like a clearance issue with this big bump. So I'm probably gonna rip this like all the way down the corner and just take this whole thing out with the angle grinder and then spray some black on it and install it. Alright guys, so we ran into a couple snafus. We thought it was going to be a pretty easy project, but we already ran into a couple problems. You guys saw that I had to cut the frame. I got that painted up. It looks good. We also had to take out the dash, the steering column, and the brake pedal assembly because the studs that mount the master, which is like that hole right there, used to be a stud, were not long enough. So now we had to through bolt the master in, which is working out fine. We followed all the Willwood directions to make sure that we have optimal swing. We already had this mocked up once. And you have to get 1.1 inch of travel to get it all and not hit the floor yet. And I got like an inch to go. So there's plenty of room to get full travel out of the brake pedal. The brake pedal is going to sit right about there, which is a good split between them. And everything should be fine there. Now we are working on what I think is a very strange, odd, kind of stupid design, which is the back of the master right here is just a concave. I have it greased up a little bit right now, but it's just a concave joint. The rod, which we made, we took the adapter rod that they gave us and we welded it to the stock one, so it would bolt into a factory location. Just barely sits right on there. That's it. So if the brake pedal was to come back, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, it would fall off. So this leads us to a problem. The way the brake pedal is you can pull it back like 2 inches. So if you were to pull it back even a 1/4 of an inch, this is going to fall out of the master and you're no longer going to have brakes. Terrible. Now they give you a rubber boot right here that'll kind of hold it where it goes, but not nearly what is safe. So we're going to do a couple things. One, we're going to put a throttle return spring or any kind of spring pulling the pedal against the ground. Now it's not going to have super dynamic force where it's going to engage brake pressure, so the brakes won't drag, ideally. And we're also going to put a throttle stop, brake pedal stop from the dash bar. Luckily it has a dash bar. And we're going to put a brake pedal stop so it can't come back far enough to take this off. So between the spring and that adjustable pedal stop, we'll be able to dial in enough so this won't fall off and it won't ever come off during normal driving or launching it, or even if you bump the pedal on accident, it will not be able to come out far enough to do it. So that was the solution for that. We'll show you guys when it's all done. But for right now, it's just kind of theory, and it's starting to come to fruition as we have this part done. We have the pedal in there. We got to drill a pilot hole to put a spring in. Matt's making the brake pedal stop right now. He's taking a tab, welding a nut on it, and then we'll put another bolt and jam nut. So that's adjustable and solid. Kind of silly. Like if you look at a factory one, this is what used to be screwed onto here, but you can't take that out of there. Much safer. This one just like barely sits into the end of it. So unless we're missing something, if there's any a different way to do this that we're not grasping, please let us know in the comments down below. But this is the second one we've done. The first one was like a Mustang kit, so it kind of all fits together. The brake pedal is ready spring loaded. It all works. This pedal's just like dangling in there. But I got to take the pedal out. I'm going to grease the assembly that's on and then tighten it in there. Basically that pedal is going to be final assembly, so we can locate the pedal stop, and that's going to wrap up that portion of the brake pedal project. Then we can put the master in final, put this on final. We can worry about the throttle spring in the morning, and give you guys an update on finishing this project. But it looks way better. I'll show you guys in a second, but it looks way better than that big, huge, gnarly thing did. All right. Enough talking. All right, guys, thank you to Matt Lindsay's superior texting and fabrication skills. We have the Willwood master in. Man, look at all the room for activities now. It used to come out to all the way to here. You can see by the brake lines. And like 4 or 5 inches of it was literally an 1/8 inch off this header. So that's nice. But much better, cleaner look. We still have a ton of work to do. In fact, we have to run new lines probably to the front, left and right. And then we have to run probably a new rear line up into the stock proportioning valve. We gotta pretty much eliminate that because now it's got a proportioning valve there. And probably shouldn't even have a proportioning valve using the factory one because it has disc brake conversion in the rear. So that's already probably not 100% correct. But wrapping up the inside project, we showed you that we needed to figure out a safety to make sure that the rod does not come out of the master. And surprisingly enough, the silly little rubber boot they give you actually holds the rod pretty good. So you can see the whole setup that we got going on here now. So this is an adjustable pedal stop. Right now we have a little bit of play in it because we still have to bench bleed the master. So we have a little bit of play, but once we get this done, we'll probably have that take all the slop out of it. So you can see there's a little bit of slop there. So we'll probably just have that go dink, and then that'll be it. But it's all welded on, it's all done. We were gonna put a throttle return spring on it also, but I don't think there's any need for it. I mean, there's no way that this is gonna come off of here. I mean, that's me forcing that left and right. And it seems to be working pretty good. Even if we back this out like a 1/2 inch, it still worked pretty good. And it had more than enough space for that rod to fall off up there. So that rubber boot's doing its job, I guess. Sketchy, but now it's super safe by adding a little safety. Tomorrow we will be back in the morning, get the steering column back in it, which is gonna be a delight. Get everything buttoned up back inside the car. That'll be done. Then we will bench or start making brake lines, bench bleed it, and be done with this project sometime tomorrow. We thought this was gonna take like 4 or 5 hours, and we are well surpassed that. Yeah. We're double that right now. So a little bit of a bummer, and we probably still have about that much time left to make brake lines, bleed the system, test it, make sure it works, get the proportioning valve working accurately. And there's still kind of a lot to go. Probably another full day on it.
Hey, all you cool cat. What is this? Hey, all you cool cat.
All right, we are moving on to day 2 on working on the truck project with the manual brake conversion. I'm going to do an oil change on the red car real quick. So I picked up some Rotella T6 full synthetic. We run 5-weight 40. That's the most that the lifters want. And with all of our lifter problems, we're pretty much sticking to lifter recommendations at this point. So we got 5-weight 40 for this. We got a Napa Premium Gold filter, which is Wix made, so it's all good stuff. We also got rid of the old 295s that were on the 18s that looked like they were stretched. I don't know what they are. Some Chinese tire. Tread pattern wasn't bad. It actually worked pretty good.
35.
And what are these? So about the same size. So then we had a set of used 555Rs off of used 555Rs off of Dan's car when he got the 888s on his now. So they're almost dead and they probably won't live long, but they're going to be better than that, and they needed to be balanced anyway, so we just threw these on instead. And the first thing you do when you get a new set of drag radials from the tire shop mounted is you take half the air out of them. They gave it close to like 40 pounds of pressure. She ain't gonna like that very much. So I got them down to like 27. I'm gonna let it warm up, change the oil. This is gonna go back home for now. We measured for the intercooler. We can go like 2 inches thicker, 1.5 inches taller, and 4 inches wider. So we're gonna find a treadstone equivalent that is that size. Probably like a 5-inch core, a 5 by 28 core is probably what we're gonna shoot for, because with the end tanks on it, that's like another like 32 inches overall, and that'll roughly kind of fit where it's at. Well, obviously if they're mounted up and everything. I want to switch it all to aluminum piping to take, 10 pounds off the front. But the cost and the time that are affiliated with that might not happen unless this piping does not work at all when we get the new intercooler. But that's not gonna happen for a little while. We got a new battery in it, we're gonna change the oil. That's all we're gonna really do on it right now. Oh, my battery's off. See how the new battery starts? Freaking radio defaults to on, so annoying. Like a dream. Smaller pulley. That bad? It had to be. Look at the fucking smoke in here. Jeez. This is bull, man.